Okay, hi guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
Cool. Okay, we're going to just talk a little bit about natural disasters. What is a natural disaster?
Flood.
Huh?
Flood.
Okay, but what is it? What's the definition? You're not wrong. But what's the definition of a natural disaster?
Definition.
It's natural and is a disaster.
Okay, yeah, it's something. A lot of disasters we have today are not made by nature, but made by man, right?
Yeah.
So we don't count those as natural disasters. Natural disaster is, like he said, something natural. That's a disaster, right? Usually it's going to kill a lot of people, or at least a lot of animals or plants in a certain area, right?
Yes.
And as we already mentioned, flood. What's a flood?
It's a lot of water.
Yeah, maybe too much water for an area, right?
Yes.
That would be a natural disaster. Too much water, often people it wipe away cities or towns, right?
Yeah.
Too much water, often because it rains too much. Because sometimes if it's a man-made dam that breaks, that's not really a natural disaster, right? That was caused by man. But it can be a natural dam, right? Some, like beavers make dams sometimes, if the water builds up too much and it breaks. But usually too much rain for an area that can't handle it, right?
Yeah.
What else?
Tsunami.
Earthquake. What's an earthquake? Shake, shake, shake. Shake. What causes an earthquake? What causes an earthquake? Huh? Yeah, that's not a cause though. That happens because of it. How do earthquakes happen?
Earth movement.
Yeah, we have like tectonic plates, right,
Yeah.
underneath us that are moving, and sometimes they're moving, but they get jarred. So they're trying to move, and then they snap, right, and it causes the earth to shake. All right, what else?
Tsunami.
Okay, tsunami. What's a tsunami? What's a tsunami? What is it? What happens during a tsunami? Okay, yeah, but what happens? You're right. Yeah, a huge wave of water comes in from the ocean, right?
Yeah.
And usually knocks out a lot of people or places near the ocean. And yeah, it's caused by an earthquake in the water, right?
Yes.
A little side note, tsunami comes from what language?
Language.
Yeah,
Japanese.
Japanese word. When I was a kid, we called those tidal waves. Tidal waves. But then a lot of them started happening in Japan, and in American English we took on the Japanese name of tsunami, right? When I was a kid we called those tidal waves. Now tidal wave means something else, but not really a natural disaster. Okay, what else?
Drought.
Okay, drought. What's a drought?
Is no rain.
No rain, yeah, no water.
No water.
Not enough water, right?
Yes.
And then plants start dying, and then animals start dying, and then other animals start dying, right? What else?
Air disaster.
Like what?
Typhoon.
Okay, typhoon. Because we put typhoon up here, I'm also going to put hurricane. What's a typhoon or a hurricane?
hurricane is a strong wind.
Strong wind.
Basically, it's very strong winds and storms. What's the difference between a typhoon and a hurricane?
Hurricane is more serious.
Huh?
Hurricane is more serious than typhoon.
It's two things. Mostly, well, in the Americas we call it hurricanes, and in Asia, Africa, they call it typhoons. But also, hurricanes tend to have a little more wind than typhoons. And typhoons tend to have a little more rain than hurricanes. But they're both very dangerous, right?
Yeah.
I saw a comedian once, right? The wind's blowing 100 miles per hour, right? He said it's not that the wind is blowing, it's what the wind is blowing that's going to cause a lot of damage, right? Because it'll pick up cars and throw them against buildings. All right, what else?
High temperature.
Debris flow.
What?
Debris flow.
Debris flow? Okay, I'm going to say mudslide or avalanche, and it can also be a debris flow. What's that? What are those?
Mountain.
Mountain?
And the many rocks from
Yeah, it's stuff that starts up top, right?
yeah.
Like a mudslide. Too much rain causes part of the mountain to just fall off, slide down, and destroy anything in its path. Avalanche is usually snow. Happens very high up in the mountains, right? Piece of snow breaks off, and it can break off more pieces, and it comes down, breaks off more pieces, till a huge thing of snow or mud or dirt
Yeah.
destroys a lot of stuff before it. What else?
High temperature. No.
It's not, yeah, I'm not going to put that up there. It can be.
Volcanic eruption.
Huh?
Volcanic
Okay.
eruption.
Can?
Volcanic eruption, what's that?
It's many high temperature water to
Water?
erupt.
Lava.
Hot.
Yeah, it's when stuff from near the center of the earth comes up to the surface, right? And on a side note, what's the difference between lava and magma? What's the difference between lava and magma?
Magma. I think
What's lava?
lava is
Hot liquid.
Hot rock?
Lava
comes
is
out
that
of the volcano.
magma
Is
is
hot.
the hot molten rock that is underground, and lava is which the surface.
Yeah, it's the same stuff. Melted rock, basically, right? But when it's underground, we call it magma. When it comes up in a volcanic eruption, we call it lava.
Oh,
It's the same stuff, though, right?
Yeah.
Molten rock or metals, right, beneath the earth. Okay, what else? What other natural disaster?
cold wave,
Huh?
Epidemic.
Huh?
Epidemic.
epidemic.
Nah, I'm not. Yeah, that could be. That could be. All right, we'll put it up there. That could be. That's not something we normally think of a natural disaster, but if it occurs naturally, it can be. I've never put that on my list before, but it can be. So you're not wrong. What else?
Pestilence.
Huh?
Pestilence.
Okay, enough. put any more stuff like that. What else? What other natural things can you think of?
Tornado.
Oh, I thought you said tomato. Yeah, tornado. What's a tornado?
Big wings.
Big wind. It's, I'm a horrible artist. It's a thing of wind that goes around like that, right? In the US, we have an area called Tornado Alley, where it gets hit by a lot of tornadoes. It's an area of the US. Usually these form because of warm air coming in and meeting cold air coming over the Rocky Mountains, right? And when they hit, it'll sometimes start to cause a tornado. What else?
Storm.
Huh?
Storm. Storm.
Storms? Nah. Some of it can be, right? Sometimes a storm can be, but the really big storms we got up here, right? A normal average storm isn't really a natural disaster, right? Even if it might kill 2 or 3 people, often we don't consider it a natural disaster. What else? I can think of one more.
Blizzard.
Huh?
Fire.
Yeah, let's say wildfire. What's a wildfire?
Fire in the wild.
Yeah, like a forest fire, right?
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen out on the ocean or in the desert, right? Well, sometimes some deserts that have a little bit of plant, but normally it happens in forests, right?
Yeah.
Heavily wooded areas. And most forest fires are not wildfires because they're started by people on accident, usually. Oh, usually on accident. Some weirdos sometimes try to actually start fires. But yeah, most forest fires are not natural disasters because they're started by people. But they can occur naturally, right? A very dry area, maybe lightning strikes, right? It can cause the forest to go up. But wildfires are natural. Most forest fires are started by people, right?
Yeah.
By man. All right, I think that's it. I can't think of any more. Any more that I like to put up there.
Blizzard.
Huh?
Blizzard.
Oh, okay. One more. Again, I know you said storm, and I said no, we have some, but we'll put blizzard up there. I think this is going to be the last one. What's a blizzard?
A game company. But
Yes,
also
it's a
heavy
game
snow.
company.
Heavy
But
snow.
what else is it?
Heavy snow.
Huh? Yeah, it's a heavy snowstorm, right? So bad, usually, it's not just a normal snowstorm. It's so heavy, so much snow comes down, that the snow's coming down, you might not be able to see your hand this far in front of your face, so much snow's coming down. So often, usually people get lost. Even like you're walking out there, maybe not out there, maybe a little farther away from civilization, they can't find their way back, right? Because they completely lost all sense of direction. They don't know where to go. And of course it's freezing cold, right? All right, I think that'll do it. Any others?
No.
No. Okay, sometimes. Most sandstorms aren't that bad. But sometimes they get really bad, right? Those happen out in the desert, usually maybe like the Sahara Desert, right? Significant, really heavy sandstorms. But I'd say most of them aren't really natural disasters, right? If only 1 or 2 people die, it's not that bad. But these kind of things can kill thousands of people sometimes, right?
Yeah.
All right, I think that'll do it, unless you think of any others.
No.
No.
No. All right, I think that's good enough. Okay, thank you guys. Bye.